My name is Michael and welcome to a new GTK tutorial. Today we are going to proceed and we're going to move on and learn something new about our signals, and in this case, because we were talking the last tutorial about the delete event signal, which, as you already noticed, it is a different kind of signal from the destroy one, because this one takes 3 parameters and of course returns Boolean instead of void, like in the last case, or in the first case, better said. Now, what's the story with the new parameter, the parameter which doesn't get used in destroy signal? For example, as you can see, we know that Boolean return true or false, which means we understand now when we need to return true and when we will need to return false, based on the condition which you decide to, and so on. And what's the story with this one? Let's say GTK event says the event which triggers this signal. If we click on the GTK event, well, as you can see, we have a problem because it doesn't opening, but no problem, because even if it doesn't working, and this, if you notice, I notice now it says GTK4 events, which is wrong. Anyway, GTK4, it is not released already. So, but the documentation already point you in some of those direction. Now this one is wrong. This one is the right one. Now let me show you something. I'm going to say GDK3 minus events, for example, and as you can see, we have here events in the GTK3 reference manual and the event structures as well. I'm going to click on this one, and here says events are the functions for handling the events from the Windows system. And its description says this section describes functions dealing with events from the Windows system in GTK plus applications. The events are handled automatically in GTK main do event wherever. This is something different, but what we are interested in this structure GTK event. So I'm going to go a little bit all the way up where the types and values are right here, and here you see we have an event types and value, event types, and of course we have some macros and so on, and the event structure, which is very important for us. In the event structure, which basically matches this structure right here, we have different kind of structures, and of course we have, if you see right here, we have enumeration structures and we have one union, which is the GTK event. So in other words, our structure right here, it is a union, and this union says contains a GTK event contains a union of all the events types and allows access to data fields in a number of ways. So the event type is always the first field in all of the event types and can always be accessed with the following code, no matter what type of event it is. So in other words, if you want to find the type, then you need to get the event type. Once that you know, or you can declare yourself like it says here, then you can check against the event type. So like in this case, you can check if a GTK button press was pressed. In other words, what do we need? We need to find the type of the event. So if we click on the GTK event type, here we have nothing. We have delete, we have destroy, we have the expose, we have the motion notify, button press, button to press, double button, button, and so on, kpress, queries. Here are all those kind of event types which can happen. Now, because we are working with the delete event, we basically need to work with GTK delete event. This one, the window manager has requested that the top level window be hidden or destroyed, usually when the user clicks on a special icon in the title bar. What exactly means? It is the close button, the X on right here. So what we need to do something like this. We need to go right here. I'm going to remove the event part, this one, and I'm going to say if event type right here, it is equal to GTK delete. Okay, then basically I'm going to print this one, and I'm going to say again back, have a nice day, and we are going to return false, because once that thing happens, then we are going to return false, else we are going to return true. So basically this is how you handle this thing here. If something different happened from the GTK event delete, then should always return true to not to stop, for example, calling this function. And if happens the GTK delete, like in our case, if someone hits the close button right here right now, then the GTK event get happens and the function gets called, gprint have a nice day function, and it will print it, and then of course returns false, which means we are done with it. And of course, because we are done, the GTK delete event is called as well, and the GTK destroy callback function runs, and GTK main quit, it gets called and shuts down completely our application. So basically this is the way how you handle and this is the way how you need to understand the different things from the other ones. Now, before we move in the next video, I want to show you something which is very important. If, for example, you want to set a title, let me show you something. Have a nice day. I'm going to say here gprint. No. I'm going to say GTK window title. I'm going to show you something. Set title, sorry. And here I'm going to say GDK delete set to true. Okay, you'll see in a second. Okay, and this happens, this function we are going to call it on our object, which is the window. GTK, we need to cast our window to GTK window. Why is not working? Okay, whatever. GTK window. Now let me compile it and run it. At this point you won't see something, because if you click the button the window gets destroyed. Okay, now I'm going to swap the false with true just for a second. Oh, I'm going to let them both to true, whatever. Now I want to show something which is very important as well. When you hit the button right now, this is very important for you to understand. You see the GTK delete set to true, it sets as the window title. You see, let me compile it and run it again, just to be 100% that you understand it. I'm going to compile it and run it again, and once that, you see we have GTK Signals demo, the name of the file set as default for our Windows title. When I hit the X button right here, says GTK delete set to true, and the window doesn't get closed. Okay, why I did this one? Because I want to show you something. I want to that you understand something very important. You see, GTK window set title expects a window, so but we are providing a widget, and this is because the GTK delete event callback says that you need to provide this kind of widget. You see right here, but you need to understand something. In C, if you already know, if you pass something and then it is if you pass an argument and the expecting parameter match the argument you are passing, then everything works fine. If not, then something goes wrong. So when you are saying here GTK window, you are passing a widget, which is true. You see, this is the window and this is a widget, so basically you are expecting to your function that also gets a widget. But because GTK widget, it is a subclass of GTK window, like I said, you can just do something like GTK window. You see, instead of widget, I'm passing GTK window. I'm going to say also window here, and you can safely drop this cast, because if something goes wrong then you already know it. And now I'm going to compile it, and of course at this point we have no widget, so I'm going to remove this one because we don't need it. And now if I compile it and run it again, too few arguments for yes, because I have here a parenthesis which should be built here. Let me compile it and run it, and you'll see that everything works fine. You see, if I hit this, the GTK delete set to true. You see, the Windows title gets set, and we pass only window. We didn't pass GTK window directly like in the first one where we had. We didn't need to cast it to GTK window because we already did it right here, and the implicit conversion works fine. So basically, you will do it. Of course, in case like this, you should check always if something goes wrong. So I'm going to do this one, GTK return value if fails. I'm saying GTK return, no, sorry, GTK is window. If our window is not a window, then should return something. I'm going to say true, whatever, because it should not be managed as a false. So basically this is the way how you handle it. Now it doesn't get closed because we set it to true, but we need to set it to false. So okay, not there, we need to set to false. So now if we set it here, then the call of the GTK window set title, it is not going to be seen here, because once that is set, in the next second or the next moment it is going to close the window and the program works fine. So just remember, guys, if you create your callback function, then the first parameter should match all the time the gsignal connect, and the last parameter should match all the time the last parameter, no matter how many are. In the destroy case we had 2, which one was the first one, and this one the second one. In the second one we have 3, 1, 2 and 3, and the instance matches to this one, and the user data matches to this one, and we have this one in the middle. And the one thing which is important, you saw in the destroy callback, we declare a GTK widget object as a parameter, and because of this we had to check if we have indeed a window, and we had to cast our widget object to GTK. We had to catch if we want to work with this object in a window GTK window function, we need to cast it to GTK window, and for this to not work with it, we declared instead of GTK window GTK widget. Another way, instead of GTK widget we are declaring a GTK window, and because it is the same, it is about the same thing here. We are passing the same window and not another window, and we are perfectly fine to declare like this. Then of course we could safely call GTK window set title on our window without need of cast like GTK window and then window, which is of course not a bad thing. It is good, because by doing this, casting your window to GTK window, even if you declare, is not bad, because the macro cast checks at runtime also if the window it is indeed a window. But we already did here, so we don't need to do the same thing again, and of course we don't need to write so much code and so on. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.